I remember the first day I got my license. I was so excited.
These are good kids. They just don't understand the risk involved.
Teen drivers are inexperienced drivers. I can teach them the basics, but it takes years to become a competent driver. Put your seatbelt on.
You can go anywhere without your parents. It's great.
Teen crashes happen all too often. I see way too many 16 and 17-year-olds in the emergency room.
Driving is dangerous for everyone, but especially for newly licensed teens driving at night and with teen passengers.
Even the most responsible teen can behave irresponsibly behind the wheel. You can't avoid the risk of teen driving.
I was in 2 accidents within my first 6 months. Luckily, I wasn't hurt badly, but I'm still paying for the damages.
Who wants to be a driver? Teenagers, that's who. But what you've just seen is typical of teen driving. This is why parents worry every time their teenage daughters or sons take the car out. Today we bring you an innovative idea, the Checkpoints program. Checkpoints is a parent-teen driving program designed to reduce or minimize the risks for young drivers.
You can have a car crash at any age, but teens have the highest crash rates of any age group. In fact, car crashes are the leading cause of injury and death for teenagers aged 16 through 19. Teen crashes are disproportionately high under certain conditions. Driving at night, driving with other teens in the car, driving at high speeds, driving in bad weather, driving while under the influence, driving without a seatbelt.
It is important to know that all teens are at very high risk, no matter how responsible and mature they are. Teens lack driving experience and driving judgment, and they think they can handle anything. They just don't understand how risky it is and how bad the consequences can be. Every parent should limit where and when their teens can drive.
Parents and teens across the country are struggling with how best to handle teenage driving privileges.
I know it can be dangerous, but there's so much pressure from Jill to drive, and she's a good kid. I'm just so busy, and her driving would help me out too. But I want her to be safe.
John will get his license soon. We've been trying to come up with guidelines for driving, but it's a lot to think about. It would help if we had some guidance on how much, where, and when a teenager should drive.
Jill is really looking forward to getting her license. She's already making plans to go here and there. But we aren't going to allow her to drive all the time. We need rules to go by.
It takes many years to mature as a driver and develop good driving habits. So parents should practice driving with their teens and make sure they get most of their early driving experience in less dangerous conditions, like driving during the day and without teen passengers. Research shows that this reduces teen driving risk.
Who wants to be a driver? The answer is teens. But teen driving is dangerous, so parents and teens could use some guidance on the best ways to handle teen driving. This is Morris Jones reporting.
As you can see from Morris's report, there's a need for a program to guide parents and teens toward a safer and less confusing teen driving experience. That's where the Checkpoints program comes in. Checkpoints prepares families for teen driving through the use of a parent-teen driving agreement. The Checkpoints program has 3 goals. 1, to gradually expose teen drivers to riskier driving conditions. 2, to keep parents informed about ways to help reduce teen driving risks. 3, to help families establish guidelines for driving before teens get a driver's license. Morris Jones is with us now to show how the Checkpoints program actually works.
Thanks, Doris. To check out this program, we followed 2 families who are using Checkpoints. We wanted to get their reactions at different points along the way. The Hills have 4 children. Their oldest daughter, Brittany, turned 16 last year. Nancy Brown is a single mother with 2 sons. Jeff is younger and turned 16 last year. We followed these 2 families to see how the Checkpoints program worked for them.
We had talked about driving rules when Brittany signed up for driver's education. We had been thinking about driving safety, but Checkpoints brought out some issues we really hadn't thought about. like teen passengers.
The newsletters explained the dangers of teen driving, and it listed ways parents could help. We actually talked about each one. We were ready to set driving guidelines by the time the agreement came.
But when we filled out the parent-teen agreement, I must say, Brittany wasn't too enthusiastic.
Her friends did not have an agreement, but she knew it was coming, so she went along with it.
I guess knowing what would happen if I broke the rules was good. I never come home late because I don't want to lose my driving privileges.
The program seemed to go fairly well in the Hill household. Brittany accepted the idea of driving restrictions from the beginning, and she really liked getting the extra driving practice. For the Browns, it was a little different. At first, Jeff refused to participate in the program.
I didn't want to do some program that'd be a hassle. My brother didn't have to do it. I just did it because my mom told me I had to if I wanted to drive.
When my older son got his license and started driving, we had some problems, and I wanted to avoid them with Jeff. Jeff thought it was too much, but checkpoints helped me make everything clear before he got his license. I talked to him a lot more about driving than I did with his brother.
When the agreement came, we'd already talked about rules and consequences. Mom was strict. I couldn't have friends in the car, and I couldn't drive after 10 p.m. on weekends for 3 months.
There was no struggle over using the car. We both knew when and where he could go, and if he followed the rules, his privileges would increase. I really liked that he told me where he was going and when he would return, instead of me having to constantly ask him or track him down.
The Checkpoints program establishes reasonable, predictable guidelines for driving. There are very clear messages about how privileges are gained or taken away. Jeff liked knowing what he had to do to gain additional driving privileges.
It wasn't so bad. Since Mom and I talked, I always knew what to expect.
When Jeff figured out that his brother already had 1 ticket and 1 accident, and Jeff had none, he was very pleased with himself.
Clearly, the Checkpoints program is useful for parents and teens alike.
It's not that difficult. I mean, my friends were getting tickets and banging up their cars. One friend even got his insurance taken away for too many tickets, but not me.
What I liked about Checkpoints is that it was a very practical, predictable program. Checkpoints even taught me some things about minimizing driving risks.
So, Morris, what you're telling us is that all teens are at risk because of their age and lack of driving experience and judgment. Even good kids who are responsible, dependable, and mature?
That's right, Doris. It takes a long time to become a safe and experienced driver, so parents are the key to minimizing the risks from the beginning. They can supervise driving, set expectations, establish limits, and grant more privileges over time. The Checkpoints program can help families do these things.
So the Checkpoints program helps organize all the decision-making. I guess that must take a lot of pressure off both parents and teens. However, it also looked like it could be a lot of work.
Most parents set driving rules anyway. Checkpoints allows parents and teens to work out rules that are safe and fair. The parents and teens we talked to were positive about the program. The Checkpoints program seems to really make a difference.
So, who wants to be a driver? Anyone can with the Checkpoints program. Thanks, Morris, for an insightful report. And don't forget to drive home safely. Good night.